That was the chair. I swear to God.
I mean, it's fine. You've been on a flight.
I can do it again to prove.
They do make you a bit gassy flights.
Before we start, it was not the Cathay Pacific meal.
Welcome to the very first episode of the Sports Edge show that you can listen to and watch over on Spotify and YouTube. We're here today at the iconic Long Room at the Hong Kong Cricket Club. I'm your host, Jasmine Titmus, founder of Sports Edge Insight, your go-to platform for sport, the business of sport, and sports investing news and advisory. Now, typically, our podcasts are going to centre around the business of sport and sports investing, but every now and then, we're going to speak to a sports professional, or as you'll see today, a sports personality to give you that fun, human, inside edge on professional sport. This episode is really special to me as cricket's my first love, and we've got an absolute legend joining us. This person's not only a cricketing great, but they're probably the funniest person to have played the game. Joining us today is England cricket's all-round entertainer, Graeme Swann. All right, should we go for it?
Let's go.
Swanny, welcome. Thank you so much for being here, and welcome to Hong Kong.
Thank you very much. First timer. I'm a Hong Kong virgin, and I'm excited.
Oh, God. And you've got a long weekend here.
Yeah. And everyone I've told that to so far, but mainly you and the driver, is the same response. Yeah. You've laughed, sort of knowing.
Yeah, so it's going to be carnage. Yeah, we will get you a translation of where you're living, just so you've got it. Okay.
Just to get it tattooed on my arm so we show the driver.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. I would ask you first impressions, but you've been here for like 4 hours.
First impressions, I didn't expect all the high-rise buildings to be the same height. I don't know if you realise that because you live here, you probably overlook it. But when you come from the airport and you look over the bay, all the skyscrapers are exactly the same height, which is like unique, surely. That was the chair again. In any area, they must have said, like the planning, no, everything has to be the same height.
Everything's exactly the same height.
Everything has to be uniform, and it's good.
But actually, you're staying TST side, right? So an amazing view of the harbour.
Yeah.
I don't
think I've got the harbour out of my room because I was halfway through my hour's sleep that I was desperate to have before seeing you. And I was phoned up and I think the lady said, we have a room on the harbour side if you'd like to move. And then I said, well, if you move all my things for me, I'll happily do it. And then she went, no, that doesn't happen. So I think I've got the non-harbour side. I
mean, you've got a busy schedule, but you've got enough time in there where you're going to see Hong Kong and some great people to show you around.
Well, it's all about the people. I travel a lot. Right, and I love seeing new places, but if you don't get shown around by locals, it's you end up doing a tourist version or a very sort of weird version that you've concocted yourself, and it's never as good. Having someone in the loop, in the know. So that's why I agreed to this, Jasmine, to see you, because I heard you're from Wellingborough. Well, I heard you're from Northampton. Someone sold me down the river saying you're a Northamptonian, and then I got it and discovered you're from Wellingborough.
Yeah.
Which,
I mean, I've survived. I'm here to tell you.
You've done incredibly well. Honestly, if they do like a list of success stories from Wellingborough, surely you're it.
I've got to be up there.
You and my mum, she taught at John Lee School for 30 years. Yeah.
Which we've just said, I reckon my mum was there and I'm going to check as soon as we're finished.
Unless she was in the project group, which is the naughty kids, I don't think she'd know my mum.
My dad might have been. I know I asked you this already, but you brought your golf clubs with you.
Yes.
To Hong Kong.
Yes.
And an amazing place to play golf. And you're going to Australia after?
Yeah, so I'm going to Australia for 2 months to follow the Ashes. I'm a coach for the England Lions cricket team, and then I'm working for the media for the last 3 test matches. Part of being in the England cricket setup these days is you have to play golf. There's a lot of golf. And yeah, I mean, you laugh, but it's actually a thing, sort of team bonding and everything. It's blatantly an excuse to play more golf by whoever's thought it up, but I love that. I'm all for it. I'm a father of 3, so any excuse to get on a golf course, I will snatch. My son started playing a year ago, and I rediscovered my love for golf. And he's only been playing a year, and he's off 10 already, and he's brilliant. And so I play non-stop, and I've got an addictive personality anyway, but I'm hook, line and sinker a golfer now. I wish I'd never played cricket.
I love it. Actually, yeah, that's one of my later questions, but I was looking kind of through socials and stuff. I saw your son's golfing, you're golfing. But I'm glad you bought your clubs, because
Yes.
I was looking at the videos of when Jimmy lent you his club in New Zealand.
Yes. Yeah.
What did you do to it?
Yeah, I swear, we're on the top of a cliff, a place called Cape Kidnappers, actually, and having a round with Stuart Broad, Jimmy, I think Matt Pryor. And yeah, it was an incredible place, Cape Kidnappers. You were literally on top of a cliff. I mean, 500 foot high. And it was very early days before podcasts, before videos, but we had a video phone and said, right, I'll throw the ball out and we'll see how far I can hit it into the ocean. And you video it, Broadie. And I desperately tried to hit it properly, but it hit just, instead of the face of the club, it just hit the bottom of the shaft and the head of this brand new Ping driver that at the time was about 350 quid, which was off the charts price-wise for golf kit at the time. And it just flew. And the ball went about 20 yards and the head of the club went about 100 yards off this cliff into the ocean. And we ended up in hysterics on all fours. And Jimmy's a miserable, miserable bugger anyway. And I can't believe how well he took it.
Don't let go. Don't let go. Hang on. There's a concrete post there. Do it in the middle of the wooden post.
You ready? Broadie, show me ready?
Born ready. Oh, no! No!
We're going to do a very, very quick fire just to get to know each other. First one, favourite tipple?
White wine. I should say these are water, natural sparkling.
Yeah, water.
Not sparkling.
Athlete.
Oh, of course. Yeah, sure. New Zealand Sauvignon Blanc.
I nailed that.
And specifically a drink called Grey Wacky, which is phenomenal. And it is the guy who used to make the wine for Cloudy Bay. He had a fallout because Cloudy Bay started getting the white grapes in. They started to mass produce because it was so popular. So he said, this isn't what it's supposed to be. It's supposed to be small and boutique. He left and started up Grey Wacky, which is what Cloudy Bay is supposed to taste like. Also goes the story. And I once drove through the Marlborough Valley in Nelson in New Zealand, trying to find the Grey Wacky estate. And it's actually sold through a different vineyard, to Dog Point. And I did all this detective work. I went deep and ended up with about 4 crates. In fact, I walked in and said, hi, I'm from England. I'm here for the Grey Wacky. And she said, oh, you must come and have a word with the winemaker. And they thought I was a mass importer. Honestly, sat there, they gave me like 3-hour tour, full lunch and everything, all paid for. I said, what sort of volume are we talking here? And I went, 3 crates. And her face dropped. But if you're still there, Shirley, hello.
I know you're musical, which we'll touch on later. But what is your go-to band or artist if you're on the plane and you've got to listen to something?
I'm very, very eclectic, but I grew up in the 90s in England, so Oasis, of course, and Oasis reforming last year was met, but I didn't go.
I was just going to say, did you
because
go?
everyone jumped on the bandwagon. Everyone I knew didn't really like him in the day. Were also, oh my God, I'm such a man.
They're all in their parkas.
Yeah, shut up, were you? I went to watch them loads of kids, and I'll always love Oasis. Actually, the other day I was going through some memorabilia that I've got at home, and I found, we once got on an airplane, Liam Gallagher was on the plane. He'd been banned from British Airways and he'd been banned from most airlines, but he was allowed on Air New Zealand. We were flying to New Zealand via LA. Liam Gallagher was there, and I had my guitar and an Oasis album and an Oasis songbook there, and I got him to sign them. So I've got this cover of Oasis Greatest Hits with 2 Graeme, Best Wishes and LBW, Liam G, and it's mint.
That is so good.
Yeah, nice one. Yeah, I'll sign that for you. Decent, mate. Yeah, sorted. You all right?
We are so different. The only thing I've got that's signed by anyone musical is a book, and it was you and that chair. I'm going to think it's not the chairs.
That was you. Go on, carry on.
No, I was going to say the only thing I've got signed by anyone remotely famous musical is Julie Andrews.
She was fit, you know, back in the day, Julie Andrews. I was only a kid, but I fancied Julie Andrews. I remember watching that. But now you ask my favourite music. It's not really Oasis at the minute because my daughters are forever in the car. And so I've discovered bands who I would otherwise never know about.
What about, are you Swiftie?
We were Swifties for a while. We were, what's the one who swears an awful lot? A new one.
Cardi B or someone?
No. She's like the modern day Madonna. No, there's Chapel Roan. We went through Chapel Roan for a year.
Yeah.
She's good. I liked her.
Yeah, she's good.
But then it's Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, yeah. I really like Sabrina Carpenter.
Yeah, but potty mouth. But she uses swear words properly. And I say to my kid, I've got no issue with swearing if it's used properly, if it's used in an emotive fashion. And even though my wife hates this, but having grown up playing sport, you realise that a good swear word inserted properly and grammatically correctly works a treat. And she does that in some form. And I quite like that.
Although I am a Swiftie because I am also like 1989. So I've grown up in every single of one of her eras. We went to Singapore to watch. It was actually really good. Yeah, it was so good.
I like that K-pop Demon Hunter song as well.
Oh my God. What is the weirdest thing you've ever autographed?
Well, I'll tell you the weirdest place up and ask for an autograph. That's probably better. Toddington Service Station, 2 a.m. at the men's urinal.
I know exactly where Toddington Service Station is.
I was going northbound. So I'm on the way home from Lords. I've been playing for England and I needed a wee. I was on the way home. You know, we finished late. We'd had the team debrief. Everyone had stayed to go out, but I had 2 little kids. So I'm going home. I lived in Nottingham, it's halfway home. I needed a wee. I stopped. Toddington Services is not the most recent of the service stations, let's put it that way. It needs a lick of paint. And I ran into the toilet and I was having a wee and it was empty. And suddenly a bloke appeared he went to the very next one to me. I mean, we're talking there's 25 like individual things. He chose the one next to me and he was just staring at me with a big smile. So
was his eyes up or down?
Well, no. He was just staring at me. And I wasn't looking at him, but I could sense, when someone's looking at you. And so after about 10 seconds, I gave it a shake. I popped it away. I went, "You all right, mate?" And he went, "Can I have your autograph?" I'm a big fan. And put his hand out to shake my hand.
Oh, no.
I went, I know what you've just been touching, mate. I'm not going to shake. You know what we're not going to shake hands. This is not happening in the men's toilet at 2 a.m.
So I never have peanuts at the bar.
So we cuddled in the car park instead. It was great. Sign my child.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sign my baby. That's not on.
Which now there's that craze of people immediately making it into a tattoo, which would have been excellent on a newborn.
But tattooing a child, a baby, is just, I think it's out of order.
Of your nice Graeme Swann signature.
Yeah. Swanny. 66. One kiss.
Kiss, hugs, kiss.
Because if you end up in prison with that tattoo, you're in trouble.
Yeah, you are. You are. With a kiss on, for sure.
Kids, do your homework. Don't get a present.
So we've already said we're both from Northampton. Both grew up there.
Yes.
How did you get into cricket?
My dad played cricket. My dad is a Geordie who met my mum at Loughborough University. He's a stunningly good cricketer, my dad, but very working class. So only child. Sorry, he wasn't a Talleyrand Sheila. He was from a 2-child family, but my mum's from Warrington, also very working class. They were the first of their families to go to grammar school and get to university. So it's a big deal. But they didn't have any money to fall back on, being from the north of England in the 50s or the 60s. Met at Loughborough University doing teacher training. Apparently, my dad played a game of cricket in Northampton the week before a week before their final sort of grades came out. And my mum went along and they got lost. And apparently, driving around said, "I hope I don't end up in a shithole like this." And of course, because that's the way Sod's Law works. When he got his degree and he passed and my mum got it, the only place they could get jobs was in Northampton. And so they ended up living exactly where my dad said he hoped he wouldn't. So we should be Geordies. We should be living in Newcastle, basically. But as it is, I'm just an avid Newcastle supporter. But
well, I love it. I'm always like, what an asset to Northampton. Like Graeme Swann, yes.
Yeah. But I've got nothing against Northampton. Great rugby town.
Yeah,
lovely
for
villages.
Sure. For sure.
The town centre's had a bit of a nosedive recently.
Yeah, I mean...
many cities have.
They have. Wellingborough, there's just an Argos and a Poundland now.
But no, I love Northampton, so I grew up there. We moved to a place called Towcester, which everyone still laughs at.
Towcester with a W?
Towcester's, Roman town. Lactodorum, of course, on the A5. But yeah, I went to Archdeacon William Spon Secondary School, which is just Spon School. Yeah, just played loads of rugby. But my dad played cricket and he was brilliant at cricket. And so I followed him. I had a big brother who played and I just so happened to be the best in the country, my brother, at cricket. And he was my big brother. So I played with him all the time. So I happened to be the best in the country at my age as well.
And how did you get into that Northants setup?
So from the age of my first game, I was 6 years old. I played for the under-11s in the game. at the end of the season because I was there all the time. I was that keen kid in full kit, running around like forever playing with forever training. And they played a game. And then I was in the full team when I was 7. And then I played all the way through. I was signed at 15, 16. And that was it. I was sort of destined to be a cricketer. I knew that in my head. I didn't realise that you could get injured or fate could intervene. Because I'm a kid. No kid believe in fate in a negative way. Of course I'm going to be an astronaut. Of course I'm going to win the Nobel Prize. Of course I'm going to marry Madonna. I mean, all these things were thrown around my head. I'm glad I didn't marry Madonna. Whew, that'd have been a car crash, wouldn't it? But yeah, so I ended up playing cricket, and I was at Northampton till I was about 25, and then I was transferred to Nottingham.
Did you come across Monty when you were at Northampton? Yes. I thought you would, because you were kind of turned into this iconic spin duo, like a left arm orthodox, an offie, that England-India 2012 series. Yes. But younger days Northants, right?
Yeah, and Monty, let me say this. I mean, a lot of people know Monty now, and Monty's a lovable rogue. He really is. He's not the brightest bloke in the world. He'll admit that. I mean, if you've seen his Mastermind episode, it's not great viewing for Mont, but he's always enthusiastic, and he will always shoot his shot. That's what I love about Monty. He'll always give it a go. I mean, as a youngster, he was the most naive human being I've ever met. I'll never forget once he lived in Luton, which is, for people not familiar with the M1 in the UK, it's 35 miles from Northampton, and there's a hard shoulder. So there's a lane where it's illegal to use it, and it's for if you break down or for the police to use, whatever. Anyway, there'd been a big crash, and the whole road was closed. So it was all over the news. Like, if you expect it to work, don't even bother going. 8-hour delays, la-di-da. So our coach said, Monty won't be here today. He's got to get it from it. There's no way. We'll have to play with 10. Went out to play the game. Monty was there on time. I said, how the hell have you got here on time, Monty? He went, I just used that empty lane on the motorway, the one specifically reserved for fire engines, for police, for ambulances to save people. He just put his foot down doing 90 miles an hour, bombed down, thinking it was a free lane for Monty.
A legend.
Yeah. I got there.
Like fine central.
He said, 1 or 2 times I had to dodge police cars.
What was he driving?
But he used to nick his dad's Mercedes to come to the ground. I love it. So they probably thought they saw this guy in a turban driving a Mercedes, like, think, oh my God, is he a specialist doctor or something? Is he come to help us out? And then just realise he's got his Northants County tracksuit on. Too late, he's gone.
His navy and maroon on.
It's amazing. But yeah, I love Mon. I love him to bits.
Yeah, it's so good. And what was the move to Notts? Was just purely cricket advancement? Did they coach you?
So yeah, it was a little bit both. I had a coach at Northampton who didn't like me, and a coach at Nottingham who really wanted to sign me. And I needed a change. Sometimes
and it was good, right?
It was very good.
England, here we come.
It's very good. Well, they had a Hooters. That was one of the reasons I went there. I mean, it sounds ridiculous, doesn't it? But,
no, that's the best thing ever.
There were like 10 Hooters in the UK. The only one that was still open was in Nottingham. And my mate had gone to play for Nottingham. And he used to say, oh yeah, we go to Hooters every Tuesday and just have like the wing special. He was from Cannock. Just have the wing night. It's all you can eat chicken wings served by pretty girls in hot pants. And as a 25-year-old, that really appealed to me.
Yeah, I was going to say, it wasn't about playing for England or cricket.
I'd recently broken up with a girl. I was lonely. I thought, that sounds great. Chicken. All you can eat chicken.
That's so good. That is so good.
I'm being facetious, of course. I went all for the culture.
The Midlands culture. Just moved slightly more north. Slightly.
Yeah. He was 48 minutes.
And yeah, exactly. Who was your favourite Notts teammate?
Oh, I've got 2 actually. Ryan Sidebottom. So he got picked for England. So he'd gone to Notts for the same sort of reason. He wanted to advance his career, wanted to win things. And we won the championship in 2005. And good things started happening for both of us. I was never going to get picked for England while Duncan Fletcher was the head coach. He hated my guts, which is fine. And a new coach came in, and the first person he put in was Ryan Sidebottom, who then had a sterling start to his international career. And at the end of that summer, I was doing really well for Notts. I'd always done well against Sussex, where Peter was coach. And they just played a game at Lords, and the chief of selectors, David Graeme, said, right, the team in this change room is going to Sri Lanka, plus Graeme Swann. He's been added to it, but don't anyone tell him, because I've got to phone him tonight. So Sydney quickly ran into the toilet, said, phone me up, went, hey, yeah, Swanny, you all right? Don't go out tonight. I know it's Saturday, don't go out because you've just been picked for England. So the first time I got picked for England, I was told I was in a nightclub. So he said, don't do that again. And I met my then girlfriend, and my now wife was my girlfriend at the time. I just met her. And we had reservations at the hottest place in town. I had to say to her, look, I'm sorry, we're not going out. She said, what are you talking about? I said, I've just been picked for England. I've got to wait for the bloke to phone me up. So she's like, oh, you're kidding me. Oh, all right. And so we ordered Chinese in. It just so happened that it was the last night of the proms on TV. All right. So this story sounds like I made it up. I promise I haven't. So it gets to about 10:30. And when David Graeme phones up, Land of Hope and Glory is playing in the background as he's telling me I've just been picked for England. She said, what the hell is that in the background? I went, mate, I do this every night, just praying for this phone call. I put patriotic songs on and I was thinking about Queen and Country, waiting for this phone call. Well, that's incredible. Put the phone down. I fell on the floor laughing, phoned up City, went, you legend. Oh, no problem, mate.
With your sweet and sour chicken balls, just nailed it.
Just dribbling down my chin.
So good.
Yeah, so he, and then a guy called David Hussey from Australia.
Yeah.
For many reasons I can't mention, but hero.
Okay. And then we're going to move quickly on to, well, we're not skipping anything England-wise, but Ashes.
Yes.
Obviously, it's coming up.
I skip most England things and get to the Ashes.
And get to the Ashes, yeah. I mean, I saw you talking the other day about whoever says anything, nothing's as important as an Ashes. No. Nothing. And you're involved in 4, right? Yes.
3, really.
Yeah.
Because we won 3.
Yeah. I
got horribly injured in the 4th and had to retire, so I've just buried that into my subconscious. My psychotherapist told me it was a good thing to do.
And then she's like, it's only 3.
Never happened.
Yeah, exactly.
The camel tactic works. Bury that head.
But also, England hadn't won an Ashes in Australia.
Yes.
It was 1987 the last time did it until you guys were the 2010, 2011 Ashes.
I don't think enough's made of this either.
Right.
Because Jimmy just got knighted, for Christ's sake.
Yeah, I did see
I haven't even got biscuits from the Queen, let alone letters after my name. I shouldn't have sent her a sandwich toaster for her birthday that year. I should have gone bigger.
Did it have a crown stamp on the toaster?
Yeah. I went Breville. I should have gone Toshiba or something. I didn't get big enough.
Gone the biggest brand ever. But for you guys, what did it feel like to regain the Ashes on Aussie soil?
Amazing.
Yeah, right.
I mean, really amazing. It's not my favourite tour that we ever went on because, having said that about the Ashes, my tour to India where we went in 2012, from a personal point of view, because I'm very egocentric, it's all about me. As a spin bowler to win there, that was, incredible. And to play against Tendulkar and Dravid and get those guys out on their wickets, me and Monty doing but I'll always find that as my favourite ever. And I prefer Indian cuisine to anything in the world as well. But the Australian tour, the best thing about it is when you turn up in Australia as an England team, it's almost laughable how much bullshit you get from every single Australian out there. And from the guy who helps you with the bags in the hotel, to the porter who drops your room service off, to the guy on the street corner, they're all like, oh, mate, you're going to get absolutely pumped, mate. You're rubbish. Why do you even bother, mate? Go home. Shit, mate. All of them. It's non-stop. And when you first start the test matches, it's all like, Australia, Aussie, Aussie, oi, oi, oi. Pathetic chanting, and it's non-stop. But I always say it's like the crowd from Rocky IV who are all like, Drago, Drago. But halfway through the fight, when Rocky starts to win, they all switch. You go, Rocky, Rocky. That's exactly what Australian crowds do. And so when we won the 2nd test, won the 4th test, and then we're pissed in the 5th test, the Australians were all cheering for us and booing their own players. And it was like the sweetest sound I've ever heard.
I love it. Because I was watching you do the impression of Bumble. What was Bumble's quote of the Aussies?
Boxing Day at the MCG when all the Aussies had gone home at tea time. It's boxing. It's fancy dressed here at the MCG. 75,000 Aussies have come as empty seats. Yeah.
Which is so true, right?
So true.
So true.
Brilliant.
But England must, as a team, go through that pressure literally every time they're in Oz, right?
Yes.
The stats are against you.
Yes.
You're going down to try and regain the Ashes.
Yes.
It's tough, right?
It is tough, but it's not as tough as people make out. They're very good. The Australians, the reason playing Australia is always such a massive thing. They're brilliant. They're a very good team. And most of that is down to their collective attitude of never wanting to be beaten. And so they will bark at you they're like two dogs in a fight. If you're a dog against them in a fight, and they will bark and bark and bark and try and make you subservient and try and make you go down on the but if you bark back, they really don't like it. They really don't. So any team who stands up to them, especially in Australia, and bites back and fights back, they don't enjoy that. And I enjoy the way they play that. They're much like American sport. It's all about noise and bluster and pomp and circumstance to try and intimidate the opposition. When that doesn't work, they've got no plan B really, and they fall apart. And that's why a tour over there is so good. To an Englishman, to an English team, that doesn't come naturally to be like that, to be loud and abrasive and don't care if people don't like you. It's like there's always this thing in England, because we've been hated by everyone throughout history because of imperialism and all sorts. I think there's this hangover that we have to be quite nice and stiff up a little.
We have to be proper and polite.
Gosh, yeah.
Yes.
Whereas the colonials, the people we've left behind in paradise, they don't give a shit. And so they don't care if people don't like them.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're a tough team to play against, but it's a brilliant tour to go on.
Yeah, yeah. And obviously Perth soon, first test. Mm. Mike Gattin's our patron of the club, and he was here not long ago. And we were chatting about all things Ashes and more of a stacked seam versus spin squad, right? Okay. But now we've named Bashir, Will Jacks. What's your thoughts?
You know what? It kind of shows where England are at the minute. We haven't got that much depth in spin bowling. But they could both really do a job. They're both very tall. They both get bounce. And so what England are thinking is at some point that might pay dividends on bouncy pitches. I don't think they're seeing them as match winners who are going to win test matches, but I think they're able deputies, able backups. I think that's a bit of a shame because I think Bash is better than that. I think Bash can win. And I think England know that deep down, but that's how everyone will see it. In fact, I did some work with Bash just the last couple of days before coming here at Loughborough, and he's bowling really well. He's in a good place, put it that way.
Okay, good. Because I mentioned we did an England tour in the summer as a club, men's and women's, and we watched the last ball at Lord's of the India Test with Bash taking that wicket.
That was a brilliant series against India this year because no one expected it. Everyone always thinks India will come in, so it'll be good to watch one or two of their batsmen and then we'll win easily. And I thought we'd win easy. And the way they're sort of backup seamers and Siraj bowled and really fought. So Virat Kohli, love him or hate him, and I love him. I think he's great. He's instilled in a lot of the Indian players. He's shown if you stand there and if you are a bit of a bastard on the field, almost a really competitive bastard, you can achieve so much. And he really is. He gives no quarters whatsoever. He was one of my favourite people to play against. In fact, we played against him, a young Virat Kohli, already a one-day champ. And we said, right, we don't say a word to this bloke, okay, because he really wants to fight. And we don't give him a fight. We have to try and keep him sort of quiet and subdued. We were playing at Delhi, which is his home city. And early on, Stephen Finn bowled a really quick bouncer and it nearly took his head off. And I was at extra cover. And Finney just sauntered forwards. I said, don't do it, Finney. Don't do it, Finney. He went, oh, drive that, dickhead. So I went, oh, no. And Kohli straight away looked up like a Jack Russell and straight to him. What'd you say? What'd you say? Finney went back to him. And then he got the most brilliant 100 you've ever seen. It was like, oh, come on, Stephen. I even spoke to him not long ago. I said, do you remember that? He goes, yeah, I just thought I'd have a word. It might work. It didn't, did it, Steve? No, it didn't.
Just threw absolute fuel on the fire.
but because of that, a lot of the young Indians who grew up worshipping Virat Kohli and played alongside him, they realised that, yeah, if you're definitely not subservient on the field. You fight like a cornered tiger. From the bowler's point of view, and Siraj, I think, was the epitome of that in the summer. He was brilliant. Became like a pantomime villain hero.
It was amazing. Like we watched as a club. I think we had a day 2, day 4 and 5 split between kind of men's and women's and who was playing and who wasn't. So we had like 3 days in a box at Lord's, and it was epic.
Your life's all right, isn't it? Sat here, like overlooking the beautiful club in Hong Kong, everyone happy, and now, so those 3 days we popped over to London to HQ.
Well, the best thing.
Let me ask you, what's the worst thing about living in Hong Kong? Is there one?
For me, just I have curly hair and it's a bit humid.
Okay, so there you go. So you're like Monica from Friends. You go to your woof. Because landing here, because I like places that are contained, that are small. I didn't realise, A, it was so close to China. I really did, because I'm English, and so we don't actually do geography, do we, growing up? It's just like the world is pink, of course. But no, I thought Hong Kong Island would be like 100 miles away.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Like an actual little secluded island. Yeah.
I didn't realise it was like a ferry to Macau, like 20 minutes.
That is a great place as well.
Yeah, I've heard that. I've seen that in Bond movies. I know that's good. So I landed, but I realised that everything would be sort of fairly close by. And I didn't realise the golf would be any good. So I've got my clubs there, and I thought, well, I was supposed to do a boat trip, a junk boat. I'm not really a fan of boats. But I couldn't, when the itinerary came through, I couldn't say that. So I had to I'm very English. And I wasn't looking forward to it. I get seasick. Even in a deep bath, I started feeling a bit queasy. But I was thinking, I'd love to play golf. So I texted Jake, my man over here, and said, he's like, is there any golf that I could squeeze in at any point? He said, we've had to actually cancel that junk trip. The relief that flew through me.
I like a junk day in terms of you pay like 60 quid and you get on it at 10 in the morning. Just free food, drink the whole day. You get off at 6 p.m. and you just don't know where you are.
So the only time I've enjoyed a boat trip like that was in the Caribbean on a catamaran. And like rum and like proper music banging out. By the way, when you asked about music earlier, as we came in, I was on a coaching course, all these kids and all the parents and stuff. My daughters took control of the DJ set at the end. And as we came in, it floated into Katy Perry, Party in the USA, like at 6 p.m. with the sunset in the Caribbean. And there's an American sort of theme. A lot of Americans in this hotel with that banging out. And I was this stereo system was louder than Hong Kong itself, basically. I've never seen a party get going better than that. So a massive shout out to Charlie Swann for doing that. You're a genius, Charlie. I love you. Still, I didn't understand Katy Perry before that. I went back and watched the videos after that, and I'm a big fan, especially the one in the jungle.
And 3, 2, 1, we're back in the room. Quickly, on the Ashes, just to finish, Brisbane.
Yes.
Day-night test, pink ball.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts?
I think it would be a result, put it that way, because Brisbane actually, when I played, was the quickest of all the pitches. I don't think it will be this year because the Optus Stadium in Perth, because it's freshly laid and it's the same riverbed mud that they use for the Wacker. You believe it or not? They went to the same place where they got the mud. I think that's brilliant.
That's so good.
It's rapid.
Yeah.
So it won't be the quickest Brisbane, but the pink ball tends to dance around, especially at dusk. That'll be a result. I think England's fast bowling, if you're bowling at the right time in a day-night game, you tend to win it.
Yep. Because Brisbane actually, like a pretty similar climate to here. Like it's hot, it's humid.
So humid.
So
horrible,
humid.
Horrible.
Yeah, which is like when you're playing here and the ball just hooping.
Yeah.
And it's favoured pace and bounce right at the Gabba.
Yeah.
How did you feel as a spinner rocking up to the Gabba?
Well, I'll tell you what, the thing about the Gabba is the outfield is so sandy, it's ridiculous. It's like, it's so heavy on your legs. So you genuinely, it's like the sapping heat because of the humidity, but very heavy outfield as well. You feel completely cooked after a day or after a test match in Brisbane compared to some of the other ground. So it wasn't my favourite place to play at all. Great atmosphere though. I faced the ball after Peter Sidlow got a hat-trick. I faced the fourth ball. In fact, possibly the best forward defensive shot ever played in world cricket, but it doesn't get any plaudits. But as he ran into bowl that ball, the noise in that stadium was phenomenal. And I go and watch a lot of football in England. I'm a Newcastle fan, and they get huge crowd.
And a great season last season.
Great season. But the noise when Newcastle score is off the charts. The noise in Brisbane that day is the loudest I've ever known in any stadium of any sport. And I was in the middle. As Siddle ran up, and I just dead batted this forward defence. I don't know if you've ever played a forward defence that comes off the middle of the bat.
Probably not.
It gives you goosebumps. It makes you excited in areas that only your wife has made you excited before. And I just thought, that is amazing. And yeah, it was great.
And I know you mentioned not so long ago about you've only actually played 3 because it's been wiped from your memory.
Yeah.
But injury-wise,
yes.
elbow, hand, like I've seen you talk about, and I always like dread this, like not actually being able to like feel the ball in your hand anymore?
It's that night. It's like the nightmare you have when you're naked and your neck's into bat and you can't find your box and the captain's screaming at you, and it's always Nasser Hussain, always Nasser. And you have to go, and in the end you go, sod it, I'll go back, and you haven't shaved and you're a bit unkempt and it's live in front of the world. That dream, that's basically what it felt like on my last tour when I couldn't feel the ball in my hand. Awful. I mean, seriously, 6 months of intense psychometric therapy.
Was it?
Yeah, it was horrific.
Yeah.
So my dream, that I'd lived and loved every day of my career. Just a chair again. But and truly thought this could be my last day. I'm just going to enjoy it. But then deep down knowing, well, I'm the best sprinter in England. It's going really well. This is great. And then one day she bowled a ball and I couldn't feel it out of the hand. What the hell was that? And then that happened more and more often. It'd be one ball a spell, one ball an hour, one ball every 3 or 4 overs. And then got to the point where it's 2 balls and over, like 3 balls and over. Like not knowing where it's, like let go of it and have no idea what's going to happen. Whether it be a beamer, a double bouncer. And my muscle memory was at the point that most of them were fine.
Yeah.
And I was basically, I blagged it. My last 3 test matches in Australia were horrific. The worst one for me was the one at the Oval when the first innings, I had this weight program that I had to do to try and keep my elbow strong because I knew I had bone that was inside the nerve. That was why I was getting these issues. And I'd been told to try and just keep your arm as strong as possible. And after we bowled in the first innings, Cookie was batting. I was in the gym at the Oval watching. I was doing these tricep dips with a heavy weight behind my, I mean, it wasn't heavy, but for me, heavy. And there was this loud bang. And I thought, what the hell is that? And then I realised the weight had fallen out of my hand and I didn't even realise because my arm was dead. I was like, oh no.
Oh no.
And thinking, do I go and tell the captain? Do I tell the coach? But it's stupid. And my massive regret is that I didn't just call it quits and say, look, I'm screwed. I'm done. In my head, Paul Collingwood, the tour before, had a brilliant send-off at the SCG, and I wanted that. I remember the last day we needed 2 wickets to Straswick. Collie, go and field in front of Barmy Army. Go and lap it up. Go and enjoy it. And they sang to him. They eulogised him. I thought, I want that. Because I knew that last test, I got through the tour. And to be fair, the Australia we played in England was shit. They really weren't a good team. And I thought we'll definitely beat them and it'll be fine. And then got to Australia before the first test. I was bowling, I mean, hideously. Didn't even in the nets, bowling at Broady, who I'd get out in the nets 10 times. He's a left-hander, he was a tail-ender. He's a great mate of mine, but I'd get him either elbow or nicked off. And we were in, I think, Tasmania, and he was like, are you okay, mate? Because like the one ball would be at his head, next one bounced twice. And I was just looking with this desperate look in my eyes saying, help, 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 help. It was awful. So yeah, I just write it off. Never happened. Never happened.
And it's heartbreaking, right? Because I think everyone naturally who is a sports person has to retire at some point, whether it's injury or you just old, your knees don't work, whatever it might be. But then did you have a plan?
But I didn't want to. I didn't want to retire. I wasn't someone who wanted to finish, who hated the game, who wanted to be away. I still love it. If I could still do it now, I'd still play. Like Jimmy still playing at 42 and people going, what's he doing? I really get it.
Gone back into T20.
Because it's everything about cricket. One thing I used to hate, and I still hate this, and you'll find this, you still play cricket. If you get someone who's had a decent career or whatever, who goes, oh, I really hate the game. Can't wait to give it up. Shut up. You don't hate the game. You love the game. You wanted to be famous as a kid. You wanted to walk down the street and people know who you are. You wanted to be the centre of attention. You wanted to play for your country. And now you're doing it. Stop trying to demean that by pretending you're cool, too cool for school. And there'd be half the team who'd be like that, all trying to pretend they didn't really like it. When, fuck off, mate.
I know. And I'm not joking. There is Friday afternoons here. I reckon, I don't want to offend them, but I'm going to say average age, it's got to be in the 60s.
Yeah.
Play Friday afternoons, 35 overs, drinks afterwards. And it is amazing.
That is amazing.
There's like 70-year-olds and just want to play the game of cricket. It's so cool.
So
aspiring.
I always think about sport. So golf is one that gets me. So when you're a young man, or how it used to be, young man, if you like golf, you were seen as a nerd, you're a geek. Oh my God. So it's like almost embarrassing to admit you like golf. But if you play cricket, that's cool, yeah. And then it gets to a certain age where they swap and all ex-cricketers want to play golf. And then it's really, everyone wants to play golf.
It's a trend.
Yeah. And like,
trending.
so if you're 50 and you admit that you love cricket, love playing cricket, everyone goes, let it go, mate.
Yeah.
You know, you're not getting younger.
Holding on to it.
But you see the same blokes hobbling around the golf course, using a cart to drive themselves around. That's perfectly normal. I just say, I've got a massive thing with my kids. And I just said, whatever anyone else thinks of anything does not matter. Do what you want to do at any one time, as long as it's not like breaking the law. But just if you want to play sport, if you really want to throw yourself into something, even if it seems like the geekiest thing in the world or whatever, no one else at your school is doing it, I will admire you and trust you and respect you to the day you die if you do it. If you don't do it because of what other people think, I will never, ever have that same respect for you.
Yeah, it's so true. It's so true. And did you, obviously what you're saying, you didn't ever want that to happen.
Yeah.
Did you have a plan to transition? Because obviously you transitioned into media, the pipped as the funniest man to ever play cricket. It obviously was a natural transition.
Yeah, I mean, before I played for England, I was trying to manoeuvre a way into the media when I finished because I thought that's something I could do because I never thought I'd play for England.
Okay.
And then when I finished, because I was already in Australia, it sort of happened straight away. I fell into it. And I did it I loved it at first. I loved doing the media side. That's the chair again. Loved doing the media at first. It's only recently, the last 3 or 4 years, I'll tell you what it was. I was doing a game and I didn't like the way some of the media was going because a few people were working in it who shouldn't have been because of one reason or another, the way society changes. And I thought, I'm really not enjoying where this is going. The world's going absolutely batshit crazy. But the one constant was cricket. And I'd find myself like pining to be a part of it. And I remember it was during COVID and I was in India and I was at the boundary. There was no one in the stadium because it was COVID. And I was on the boundary and I was like staring at the floor. And as I was, a ball sort of stopped at my feet. And I looked at it and Andy Flowers jogging to pick it up. And I had like an epiphany. I went, Andy, can I come and help you coach at Trent Rockets in the summer? And he stopped. He went, I never thought you'd want to do that. I went, well, I didn't till literally now, till that ball hit me on the foot. And so I spoke to him afterwards. And listen, we can't pay anything. It's like a pittance compared to what you're getting. But if you want to do it, of course, I'd love your experience. And I went to do it. And the first day I went coaching, I came back in the house and my wife went, whatever's happened today, just do that. Carry on doing that because you're back. This is you. This is the bloke I fell in love with, not the dickhead I've been with for 10 years. But she said, you've been miserable and you've had like a black sort of aura around you. And now you're glowing again. And I just thought, you know what, she's right. And I felt incredible. I felt like a little kid at Christmas. Like they always say a kid at Christmas. It's not Christmas Day as a little kid. It's the week leading into Christmas. You finish school and you're buzzing. That's what I felt like again.
Amazing.
And so ever since I've tried to do as much coaching as I can. I still do a bit of commentary because I like it. I'm good at it and it's fun. But my God, being on the team bus, being in the change room, when a bloke you've put all your sort of faith in and put a lot of time into suddenly realises how good he is. Because you know how good he is, but players never realise how good they are. And the ones you've been saying, look, seriously, mate, you could play for England, and they nod, but they think you're full of shit and you're just saying that. And then they have that breakthrough moment. My God, that's the greatest feeling in the world.
And it's so nice that was kind of a natural thing because some people just go, right, I'm going to have to go into coaching or I'm going to have to go into commentary. And everyone would have picked you to just go, right, charismatic, personality, straight into commentary. But yeah, it's great.
So I mean, had sort of the media carried on, had it not gone woke and gone crazy, and I'm happy to say it.
It's fine.
Had it not started going too taking itself too seriously, I'd probably still be doing it and probably still be, but I wouldn't be getting the same fulfillment that I've got. And it was Jimmy got a 5 for one day and I was commentating. I realised I didn't even know he got a 5 wicket. I was looking at what time I'm on, what am I going to have for dinner tonight? I just wasn't invested in the game whatsoever. This is an England test match with my best mate bowling. I'm godfather to one of his kids. I can't remember which one, but I'm godfather to, I can. Hello, Lola. But then I was thinking, what's the matter with me? I was just getting paid for a job, getting paid well for a job that I just wasn't 100% invested in. And that is a shit feeling.
And very quickly, not that this is anything better than coaching, but as a Brit, I can't not mention it. Strictly, right? When I'm Strictly, I'm like, if I've retired and I've been asked on Strictly, like that's it. That's the epitome of retirement.
Yeah, it really is.
What was it like?
Put it this way, and I'll tell you off air what it was really like, because it was bizarre. It's a bizarre world. The Strictly world is a bizarre one. The entertainment industry is very weird. All I'll say is that. And all the stuff you ever hear about weird stuff in Hollywood, I get it. I truly believe it's true, because I know what weird stuff goes on behind the scenes. But as a show, it's incredible. The way it's produced and the way it grabs the nation, they know what they're doing. It really is an incredible spectacle. It's not an even contest. I'll say that. I'll leave that. I'll be cryptic about it.
Okay, that's fine.
I could probably tell you who's winning for the next 3 years. Put it that way.
But did you pick yourself as a dancer?
No, well, I can move. I had good rhythm. I could dance. What I didn't realise is I couldn't ballroom dance. So Oti Mabuse, who will remain one of the greatest people I've ever met, she was awesome. On day one, she said, like, how do you want me to be with you? I said, I'm a sportsman, so I don't want you to blow smoke up my arse. I want you to be honest with me, give me honest feedback, and let's work from that. And after 2 days, I was gutted that I'd ever asked her to do that, because she was horrible. She was so cruel. She was so harsh. And I just wanted to cuddle by the end of the first week. But it was an experience. The tour, like the next year, was one of the best things I've ever done. It was amazing. Craig Revel Horwood, I'm going to spoil his persona here. He's one of the nicest human beings I've ever met. Really? With a heart of gold.
Because he's so harsh on the show.
He's a beautiful, beautiful human being. But that's it. It's all like for the cameras. But Anton de Beek as well. Beautiful man. Lovely human being. Some of the people on there not so beautiful, maybe. But as a show, I still think it's great. I mean, I don't watch it now. I don't really watch any television. I'll tell you, the best thing about Strictly, the Backstreet Boys. So this is before, This is before comebacks were a thing. This is before like the Oasis reunion and everything. And I think one of them was bankrupt. And so they got together and said, let's all make a comeback. And so out of nowhere, they said, Backstreet Boys on this week. And so whatever artist is, they'll come in and they'll, on the Friday when you're doing your rehearsals, they'll do their rehearsals as well. So like I say, when Paloma Faith said, I'd never heard Paloma Faith. I didn't really rock my boat, so I wasn't there for it. Yeah. But when I heard Backstreet Boys were there, I was like, holy shit, yes, I'll be there. So I saw them and met them doing like Backstreet's Back. And they did 5 songs, quit playing games in my heart and all stuff. It was like, I'm 21 again here. I'm 19 years old. Backstreet Boys. And they were getting there. I was out there copying them in the background thinking they're going to see me and go, definitely, well, we want you in. They didn't, but they were brilliant. The thing to do is to go to Vegas and watch them in that, the bubble, the sphere. In the sphere. I've had a mate who went there, mate, it's better than... Yeah, it looks unreal. It's better than, better than life itself. You have to do it. So the 2 things I want to do, Backstreet Boys in Vegas and ABBA Voyage thing in London, because everyone tells me that's brilliant. ABBA. If you don't like ABBA, you're dead inside. Ooh, my wife. Does she not like ABBA? She's dead inside. The opening bars of Dancing Queen don't make you go, oh, yes! Then honestly, there's something wrong in your childhood. Something happened at some point. You witnessed a puppy being murdered or something. Well, maybe you can get the trauma out of her. That would be great. I'd rather not. But so at the end of the night, if I'm doing Dancing Queen with your wife. With one. Like the podcast, doesn't matter about the podcast. Yeah. That's the only goal. It's a pilot thing. She's just trying to be cool. Deep down, she sings Waterloo in her sleep. I defeated you on the Oh my God. She's going to hate me. But you talked about some of your kind of friendships and, Ryan Sidebottom, Jimmy. Yeah, all right. Tuffers. Yes. He was like your early mentor. He's my mentor. And then blossomed into a friendship. Yeah. So he was my mentor on my first England tour. I was a 19-year-old picked because I'm not sure why. I got wickets for England under 19s. They had a new regime. They wanted to show that they were like open to change. Yeah. I was nowhere near good enough. I probably thought it at the time, but I was shitting myself. I was hoping I'd never get picked for the team because I'd just think, oh my God. But he was my mentor off the field. And I didn't play for 8 years, maybe because he was my mentor off the field. Phil Tufnell is a beautiful human being.
I read his book, and there's a bit in there about you wearing your Newcastle United shirt on safari.
Yeah. I'll never let the truth get in the way of a good story. But apparently, on safari, and I was friends with the zebra or something like that. But I'm not sure that happened. But I won't argue with the cat. Yeah. Honestly, and it was weird because he was very sort of interested on that team. He was very apart from this side. So all these guys I'd grown up worshipping. I got in the changing room. I realised one by one, as individuals, they say never meet your heroes. Most of them are a real letdown for what I thought they'd be like, what superstar cricketers would be like. There was no sense of teamwork. There was no sort of morale in the squad. It was all about themselves. Not all of them, mind, but a lot of them were a real letdown. But he certainly wasn't. Him and Atherton were the two on that trip who I generally walked away thinking they're brilliant blokes.
And lastly, last little bit, and then we'll go actually and have some proper drinks.
Is this not it? I thought we were done it. I was about to phone for a kebab.
You're like, I'm done.
I'm a lightweight. I'm a cheap date.
Yeah, well, excellent. Your struggle here. You have gone through and played through an era where kind of cricket's modernised and transformed, and you've kind of gone from county changing rooms to the IPL's launched. You've been a newspaper article and then like a trending social media topic. How has that journey been for you as a player, kind of seeing the transition of cricket from kind of that whole modernisation?
It's been amazing. Actually, it really has. The last 10 years, I reckon, it was as big a transition as there's ever been in our sport. Because of the acceptance. If you remember 2020 cricket, 2005 in England when that started, or 2003 when it started, T20 cricket was like scoffed at. No one would like this. It was done on a Wednesday. Everyone thought spin bowling would be rubbish. And within such a short period of time, I mean, India hated 2020 cricket until they won the World Cup. And then all of a sudden it was like, holy shit, let's make an IPL. And then the IPL took off. And that's only 15, 20 years ago. And now it's the biggest sporting event, bar the Super Bowl, in the world. And everything that's changed. So Test cricket suddenly nosedived and people are desperately trying to save Test cricket, stuff like that. Like players, bang average cricketers now are earning millions of dollars to play. The good ones are obviously earning multi-millions, and that's good on them. But players you look at, if you took a step back and complained about it, I could have done this, could have done that. It's a very dangerous place to get in. If you look at it and say, well, this is how the world's moving, and it's a good thing. And the best thing for me is that I've got kids. I've got young kids. So I can see now how the 100 is an amazing thing compared to T20 cricket. My kids don't like T20 cricket. They get bored by it.
The 100 literally brought in so many, especially females as well, brought in so many fans. Yeah. That kind of, the whole franchise sponsorship aspect of it was amazing.
So I think it's brilliant. The game's moved forward, the women's game's moving forward. The women's game in England needs to catch up from a fitness point of view, I think, because when you see some women's sport that's elite athletes, the women's cricket, I mean, the men's cricket, they need to get fitter as well. But once it all catches up, I think it's going to be amazing. But the Trent Rockets last year, I love working with the Trent Rockets and love working with the girls as well when I've done it. And they've not won it yet. And they're going to, once they get going, once they win something, they're going to absolutely fly because they've got Nat Siver, who's like, it's like Don Bradman in women's cricket. Yeah, she's ridiculous. But even that has gone from being like played before the men and a few people turn up to watch, almost curious to see what it is.
Yeah, curtain raiser.
Yeah, curtain raiser. To now it's got a genuine following and people are there. And I think the girls are starting to believe in that as well. And I think it's great. Yeah. And as long as Trent Rockets really come into their own and start winning things, I'm happy. Come on, Nat.
And then lastly, what makes me laugh with you and the whole sprinkler, social media. we're all quite active on it now, right? It's become just a part of our lives. But what was it like keeping up with that? Because obviously the sprinkler is now, I could like WhatsApp my mates a gif of you sprinkling. And do you reckon if you were like peak Swanny, mid-Ashes with TikTok, you're playing now?
I'd murder it.
Would you be like ECB's social media, or would you be like
I'd be on my own. I'd be the Mr. Beast of cricket, basically.
Mr. Beast.
And basically, I've got kids, so I know all these people are at.
You would crush it, wouldn't you?
In fact, my kids the other day were saying, they were showing me stuff. My wife doesn't get it. She's my age. She's like, what the hell are they going on about? I mean, you've just got to accept like 5-second weird stuff that we don't think is funny. And it was like, I need speed or whatever. It's like, going, oh, please, my mom is really homeless. And it was like, there was nothing funny about this clip we've just watched. And yet my 14, 13-year-old crying with laughter. And like, we looked at each other and went, we're now like our grandparents. We're a generation that just doesn't get it. And I'm that embarrassing dad because I said, right, I'm going to do that tomorrow. And a couple of that, and my son was like, Dad, please don't. Do not mention anything you've seen on TikTok. Please, for the love of God, don't be that teacher who's like hi, I'm Mr. Swann. You guys can call me Graeme. Yeah, sure. And I'm embracing it. I'm embracing being the embarrassing dad.
Yeah, I can imagine you just doing reels of like the flat one, just these little 5 seconds.
Exactly. In fact, you know what? Me and Jimmy, before I retired, we've got a lot of video that we made, and they were like piss takes of famous cricketing moments. We still have this video. We own the copyright. I don't know where it is, but we've got it. It is better than anything that's been on the internet. I'll say that.
Thank you for the stories, the banter, as always.
It's been my pleasure.
Yeah, the wine.
Night.
And let's do it again.
Night.
Oh, night.
Oh, night.
From Northamptonshire. Night.
Thank you for tuning in to the first episode of the Sports Edge show. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did. Please subscribe to our weekly newsletter at www.sportsedgeinsight.com. Follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Sports Edge Insight, and follow us on Spotify at The Sports Edge Show.